Hi friends, I am Dr. Sakhare from Solapur, Maharashtra, India. I have studied acupuncture with the needles, but I found the people or patients have the needle phobia. As soon as they heard the name needle or acupuncture, they won't come to my clinic. And that time I started acupuncture with soft laser. Soft laser is having benefits more than acupuncture because it is the non-invasive technique and you can use it on the prohibited points on the in the acupuncture, that is on the carotid artery, in the sternum notch. You can use the soft laser for effective in the asthmatic attack, cardiac asthma, heart blockage. The effectiveness of the laser acupuncture is really a miracle that I have experienced with the patient. And patient get relief pain, and I found the pleasure or on their face and happiness on their face, so that they are free from the disease. And by God gift, by my intention, I use different types of the laser acupressure by opening the points or giving the points front and back side or by the sides or by stretching. I got miracle results. And that time I was started to teach the patient and people who came to me, my clinic, that this point is for frozen shoulder, this is for migraine, and this is for stiff neck, this is for lumbago. And each time I was teaching each patient and with his colleagues for to increase their knowledge. Then why I decided to teach the complete acupressure, laser acupressure diploma, which I have learned, I have experienced, I have created myself to you. And now let's start the history of the acupressure. I'll share the screen from here. I'll start from the beginning of the acupressure. More than 300 years ago, this papyrus rendering of pictograph from the tomb of the physician Ankh-Mohor at the Saqqara in the Egypt shows the therapeutic benefits of the manipulating specific points on the feet. Pedicure were known. The ancient wall painting is full of the symbolic meaning in the above picture. The pyramid shape shows the energy, while the owl represents the wisdom and the learning. The three white birds represents the or depict peace, health, and prosperity. The tools that can be seen in the separate panel are representing the instruments were used while surgical process. The history of the acupuncture, how the acupuncture is discovered, and what are the ways to find the acupuncture, who has found the acupuncture. Most of the people feel that acupuncture has found by the wounded soldiers with the arrows in the China. It is the one of the biggest country and have many states. Many kings and princes were there. There was enmity between the neighboring states every now and then. So every time China had a war with the neighboring states, during those days, bow and arrows were used and spears were used in the war. These wars for years together go on and on. So the war had become the lifestyle routine work. If we try to think to find out the reason during the war, then we came to know the real cause of the acupuncture. There was an old man who was whose name was Chang. Slowly, uh, not able to see. He was slowly not able to see due to family responsibilities. He wanted to earn money for his livelihood. During that time, the neighboring king had a war with their king. Soldiers were getting more money in the war. There was no age limit. On the contrary, the people felt that more aged people had experience of the war, and Chang joined the army force, went to the war. The orders were sent from both the states. War during the time firing has started from both the sides. There was rains of the arrows both sides. Enemies were terribly facing to the opposite uh, enemies. It was the dark all over. Chang jumped, two, three of them fell victims, and that moment the arrow came and hit the Chang's left leg, six finger above the tip of the lateral malleus. This point is now recognized that GB37. All the enemies ran away that night. They applied the medicine to their wound, and Chang also tied the cotton to the wounded part of the leg and slept. And next day, when he got up, he felt some little different. There was a clarity in his eyes. He could see. He brought his hand towards his eyes and find all the lines are clear. He can see on the palm. He was very happy and surprised. He called all his fellow men and told them the changes that he took place with him. He told his friend till they till that day before he was not able to see anything, but that day when he got up, everything was very clear to him. Uh, He was able to see like before. He also said that the medicine what he had took day before for the cure of his leg had also benefited him to his eyesight. Everyone shared this experience with each other. This type all the other points have discovered points for shoulder, points for asthmatic attack, points for common cold. In the year of 127, King Wang Wei Ji Bao told the importance of the acupuncture points in the body according to their place on a copper statue which they have made, and there were 657 points on the brass statue. Gradually, acupuncture is spread all over the world. Piercing ear is also the acupuncture. Uh, In most religions, on the 12th day, ear is pierced. It was the ceremony, and they thought that piercing the ear is beneficial for the health and brain. In the Islam, before prayer, they clean their ear front and back side. In the auricular therapy, there are more than 200 points. So piercing cleaning, massaging, pinching, twisting, bringing ear is good for our health. Here you can say the points more than 200 in the year. Now here we come to our palm. On the palm and fingertips. Nerve ends on the palm and fingertips. Fingertips are the last neurotransmitter of the brain. So when you feel anything on the fingertip, that means there is no blockage from fingertip to brain or toe tip to brain. In the urban region, women's and men's were working with hands. They are churning curd with churning slab and grinding spices on the stone slab with a rounded cylindrical stone by hand. Their points on the hands or palms are stimulated. On the sole, there are also reflex points on the tip of the toes. It is also last neurotransmitter of the brain. While walking barefoot in the field, in the farm, or around the temple, the foot points are sole points are stimulated. Circumambulance around the temple with the barefoot sole is stimulated. But while going to holy place, we keep our footwear outside and go inside. But nowadays there is polished pavements and tiles or marbles are covered with that inside and outside surface of the holy space, and there is no stimulation to our feet, and we think that we have no blessing, we are not receiving the blessings of the god. In the dance there are hand gestures or hand postures. In the classical dance, Indian western ballet, tap dance, and there are certain hand gestures of the while praying or in the meditation or offering something to the god. By massaging the head or full body is also we can use it by acupressure. Automatically acupressure is there while massaging head or tapping the kids or children over the head area or the temporal or ear. There are sedation points behind the ear, back of the head. Wearing different types of ornaments is also have the acupressure effects. Wearing necklace or lockets, there are points on the necklace and lockets are rest on the C7 or T1 in between, and it is the point for immune influencing point or homeostatic point, and it is used for neck pain or common cold allergic diseases. Wearing bangles, bracelets, and anklets in the ankles, rings in the toes and the fingers are also effect for acupressure points of their specific area of the organ. Anklets and bracelets are used to stimulate wrist and ankle region points. On the wrist and ankle region, there are most effective ion source points. Ion source points are those points where the maximum energy of the channel is there. We massage the wrist anytime and feel energetic. Then we come to know that why the people get sick or get disease problems. Many people from time to time suffer from variety of the common complaints. These typical problems found within the family and can cure with the acupressure. The source of our imbalance is simply blockage. It can be the blockage of the physical, energetic, or energetic nature, mucus, fat, or poor energy circulation contribute to this stagnation. Blockage within and around the organ, as well as within the muscles, nerves, and circulatory system, interferes with the functioning of the body and mind. The circulation of the energy must well for the organ to function well, and therefore for balance to be maintained. Disruption in the flow of the energy lessens the or decreases the vitality. When happens, we don't feel well. Energy comes from the heaven or earth. Without energy, nothing would exist. Especially, energy comes from inheritance, genetic inheritance. The food that we eat, air we breathe, and the movement activities that we do. Throughout daily activities, we create energy. It flows throughout the body in specific pathways or channels. Ancient knowledge of the energy circulation has been known and passed down for thousands of the years. We are not the only bones, nerves, and muscles. We are the total of these source of the energy. Blockage interrupts the flow of the energy. Biological function is slowed down and problems arise. Health is the natural condition of the human being. It is our birthright. Illness and unhappiness are unnatural conditions. Health and sickness are not an accident or something inexplicable. Sickness arises from how we live as a result our own actions and thoughts. The cause of all illness is an imbalance of yin and yang. It is interesting that unchanging comes the opposing forces which can change everything. These two opposing forces were called yin and yang theory in ancient Chinese. These powerful tendencies create and destroys everything in the universe. Understanding the movement of the change can be useful in establishing balance and creating health. Anything an imbalance is present, anytime an imbalance is present, our goal then is to prevent imbalance and remedy any that may already be present. The body doesn't lie. By watching gesture, posture, movement, we can perceive balance or imbalance. An ancient medical system were primarily concerned with observing and treating imbalances. In traditional Chinese, healing practice is based on yin and yang principle. These two forces are always opposite and antagonist, and yet they are at the same time they are complementary. They are always combining and cooperating and supporting each other. These two tendencies constantly interacting were understood in ancient China to create balance. This happens both inside the body and outside in the world. Simply stated, any illness is an imbalance of yin and yang, with the predominance of one's tendency giving way to the dominance of its opposite and vice versa. Everything there is constantly changing, although always changing. Each thing still contain both yin and yang. This fact creates wholeness that is constantly evolving, bound together yin and yang, unify. Yang is the inward movement that creates contraction, and yin is the outward movement that creates the expansion. Yin is rest, yang is action. Yin is dark, yang is light. Yin is moon, yang is sun. Yin is cold, yang is hot. Yin is large, yang is small. Yin is up, yang is down. Yin is front of the head, yang is back of the head. Yin is soft parts, yang is hard parts. Yin is expanded organs, yang is compacted organs. Yin is peripheral parts, yang is inner part. The upper position is yin, lower position is yang. Yin is nervous function, yang is digestive function. Yin is female function, yang is male function. Yin is mental activities, yang is physical activities. Yin is eliminating function, yang is consuming function. Yin is ascending movement, yang is descending movement. Exhaling function while relaxation is yin. Inhaling function while tension is yang. Physical inhaling expansion, that is yin. Physical exhaling contraction, that is yang. Flexibility is yin, inflexibility is yang. Slow motion is yin, rapid motion is yang. To large degree of society has forgotten the power of the nature. We have forgotten that it is the source of life. The belief that man-made science is superior to the natural order is presently popular worldwide. In the past, ancient people trusted in the God. Today, we put our trust in the science and the technology. Science has become an important part of the modern life. However, problem arises when we forgot the nature exists independently, and science is the only part of the nature. Without nature, science cannot exist, but without science, nature still exists. The force of the nature is in every of us. It is in the things that exist. If we go along with the nature, we go along with larger forces that help to create us. If we fail to follow the way of the nature, we can expect problems and unhappiness. Traditional Chinese medicine is based on the natural laws. The ancients saw the energy circulating in distinct pattern from organ to organ within the body, as much as river flows within its bank on its voyage from mountain to sea. This vital energy moved from organ to organ, animate each other, each one giving each organ fuel to function. We know this, the meridian or channel system. Looking inwardly, to ourselves, we can see very clearly that natural order that exists. You don't have to read the books or have any teacher to explain you what is natural and what is not. Our biological and emotional needs and urges are natural orders. These are themselves natural forces. When you are hungry, thirsty, this is the nature speaking to you. When you have to go to toilet, this is the nature talking to you. The social need to share with friend and laugh together is the part of the human being. To deny the urge is deny the nature and its to violate her laws. So eat when we hungry, eat, drink when we thirst. Now, in the lesser acupuncture diploma, We'll see the acupuncture points, channels where the energy is stored, less, or excess, or stagnant, or imbalance. WHO also recognized the acupressure system. There are more than 43 diseases in 1979 can help to the body. And here you can say now there are more than 100 conditions and 255 clinical trials that published beginning of the 1999, and WHO has recommended acupuncture diseases, as you can see here: adverse reaction, radiotherapy, allergic rhinitis, biliary colic, depressions, dysentery, acute bacillary dysmenorrhea, epigastralgia, facial pain, headache, hypertension, is hypotension, primary leukopenia, low back pain, malposition of fetus, correction of the fetus, morning sickness, nausea, vomiting, neck pain, pain in the dentistry, periarthritis of the shoulder, post-operative pain, renal colic, rheumatoid arthritis, sciatica strain, stroke, tennis elbow, acne, vulgaris, Bell's palsy, alcohol dependence, detoxification, bronchial asthma, cancer pain, cardiac neurosis, cholecystitis, chronic with acute exacerbation, competition stress syndrome, craniocerebral injury, abdominal pain, diabetes mellitus, non-insulin dependent, earache, epidemic, hemorrhagic fever, epistaxis, eye pain, female infertility, facial spasms, female urethral syndrome, fibromyalgia, ascites, gastrokinetic disturbance, gouty arthritis, hepatitis B, virus, carrier status, herpes zoster, hyperlipemia, hypogonadism, insomnia, labor pain, lactation deficiency, male sexual dysfunction, non-organic, meningitis, neuralgia, post-hepatic, neurodermatitis, obesity, opium, osteoarthritis, pain due to endoscopic examination, pain in the thromboangiitis obliterans, extubation in the children, postoperative convulsions, premature syndrome, prostatitis, chronic pruritus, radicular pain syndrome, Raynaud syndrome, recurrent lower urinary tract infection, reflex sympathetic dystrophy, retention of the urine, schizophrenia, sore throat, spine pain, stiff neck, temporomandibular joint dysfunction, tobacco dependence, ulcerative colitis, uveitis, vascular dementia, whooping cough, color blindness, deafness, hypophrenia, irritable colon syndrome, neuropathic bladder due to spinal cord injury, pulmonary heart disease, chronic small airway obstructions. These diseases are recognized by the WHO with acupressure. In our training of the program, introduction, history, acupuncture channels, meridian, effects of acupuncture, classification of acupuncture points, five element theory, yin and yang practice, organ clock, then different types of the meridian: lung, large intestine, heart meridian, small intestine, pericardium, triple warmer, urinary bladder, kidney. spleen, stomach, gallbladder, liver, governing vessels, conceptional vessels, extraordinary points, selection of techniques of the different selection techniques of the acupuncture points while practical, and different disorders of the different branch of the medical system, brain and the nervous system, respiratory disorders, heart and cardiovascular system, blood disorders, stomach and gastrointestinal disorders, hepatic, biliary, splenic, pancreatic disorders, genitourinary disorders, ear disorders, eye disorders, endocrine disorders, psychological disorders, disorders of the children's, locomotor disorders, cosmetic acupuncture, sports medicine, increase the stamina, flexibility, strength, and practical videos will be given and notes will be given each and every time, and after that certificate will be given in international rate of the acupuncture degree, diploma, master degree, there about 50 to 60 lakhs Indian rupees. Now I'm just charging 4,500 to GPay or PhonePe to my number 9890195059, and for the foreign papers, $150 to transfer my account, which is given here.